Welcome to this session on the risk breakdown structure, which is the RBS. So as we say that managing risks effectively requires a structured approach to ensure no area is overlooked. The RBS is a powerful tool that categorizes the risks into hierarchy, making it easier to systematically identify and analyze potential risks. In this video, we will discuss the purpose of an RBS and how to develop it and how it supports the risk planning. By end of the session, you will understand how to integrate the RBS into your planning processes, ensuring that the risks are identified, organized, and addressed in alignment with your project goals. Let's again start with identifying risk breakdown structure. Again, so risk breakdown structure or RBS is hierarchical tool used in project management to organize tasks. Similar to the work breakdown structure or the WBS that outlines the project deliverables and key components and activities. On the other hand, the RBS focuses exclusively on risks. It categorizes the risks into broad categories at top level, such as external risks, technical risks, organizational risks, and then break these down into more detailed subcategories. And this structure ensures that the risks are identified systematically, reducing the likelihood of overlooking critical issues. And by grouping risks by their source of area or impact, the RBS also simplifies the analysis, communication, and prioritization efforts. The benefits of using or developing an RBS. So, using RBS offers different benefits. The first one here, it enhances the visibility by grouping risks into logical categories, ensuring that all areas are thoroughly reviewed during the identification process. The second benefit here is it facilitates a comprehensive risk identification by acting as a checklist that covers a wide range of potential risk sources. Finally, the RBS supports the prioritization efforts by helping the project teams to focus on high risk areas and allocate resources more effectively. This structured approach not only simplifies the risk planning process, but also it strengthens the foundation for successful risk management throughout the project lifecycle. Let's have now a look on the key components of an RBS. So, an RBS is typically organized into three levels. At the top level, it contains the broad categories like external risks, technical, organization, or organizational risks, which are defined. And these categories represent the primary areas of risks for the project. Under each category, subcategories provides further detail. For example, under external link risks, you might have subcategories like regulatory changes or market conditions or natural disasters. Finally, individual risks are identified and listed under each subcategory. And this multi-level structure not only ensures a comprehensive coverage of risks, but also facilitate the detailed analysis and targeted response planning. Developing an RBS begins with identifying the high levels categories of risks that are most relevant to your project. These categories should align with the nature of the project and its objectives. For instance, let's say in a construction project that might prioritize the high level categories like the environmental risks, safety risks, and supplier risks. Once these categories are defined, you can break them into more specific subcategories. For example, let's say under the environmental risks, you might include, let's say, weather related delays, or let's say regulatory compliance. Finally, using the project documentation and lessons learned from previous project and inputs from the subject matter expert to identify, let's say, individual other risks under each subcategory. And this structured approach ensures that the RBS is a comprehensive and tailored to the project unique needs. To start again with the RBS and risk identification, and let's take it in more in depth now. The RBS is a highly effective tool for risk identification. And by categorizing the risks into a structured hierarchy, it acts as a checklist that ensures all of the potential risk areas are reviewed systematically. And this approach reduces the likelihood of overlooking critical risks and provide a clear framework for team discussions. The RBS also encourages the collaboration by involving team members in identifying risks with each category. Once identified, risks can be easily documented in a risk register, which is the output of identifying risks. Completed, let's complete with its their sources and categories and potential impact. And this process lays a foundation for subsequent risk analysis and planning activities. And how can you use RBS in risk planning? So, integrating RBS into your risk planning efforts ensures that the identified risks are aligned with the project planning priorities. And by prioritizing or categorizing the risks, the RBS highlights the high risk areas that may require additional resources or attention or audits. For instance, if a specific technical risk is identified as critical, the team can allocate additional time and budget to mitigate it. And the RBS also serves as a communication tool, helping project managers to explain risk categories and to categories and priorities to stakeholders in a clear and organized manner. And this transparency builds a confidence in project risk management approach and fosters stakeholder alignment. Let's take a look on one of these, let's say, risk or RBS risk breakdown structure. At the top level, we might have categories, again, like external, internal, or organizational or technical risks. Under external risks, subcategories could include regulatory changes, market conditions, natural disasters. On specific risks under these subcategories might include delays, let's say delays due the regulatory approval or supply chain disruption caused by the market instability. Similarly, let's say creating an organization risk as the top level. So under the organizational risk, subcategories might include resource availability and stakeholder alignment. And this example demonstrates how RBS organizes risks into manageable and actionable components. Here are the common challenges that you might face when developing the RBS. And despite its benefit, implementing RBS comes with its own challenges. One common issue is overcomplicating the structure with too many categories, which can make it difficult to use effectively. And to avoid this, keep the RBS simple and focused on most relevant risks. Another challenge here is failing to align the RBS with the project scope and objectives, which can result in overlooking critical tasks and, let's say, ignoring the critical one. Finally, a lack of stakeholder involvement can lead to gaps in the RBS itself. So, engaging the stakeholder ensures that all of the perspectives are considered, making the RBS more comprehensive and effective. And to summarize our session on RBS, we say that the risk breakdown structure or RBS is a foundational tool for effective risk planning and managing. And by organizing the risks in a hierarchical way, it ensures a comprehensive coverage and enhances the visibility. It supports prioritization by highlighting the high risks areas and facilitates the communication with the stakeholders by presenting risks in an ordered or organized manner. Incorporating the RBS into your planning processes strengthen your project risk management framework, setting the stage for successful project outcomes.